It's just so adorable how you're still doing that little blog thing, my mother-in-law Bridget cooed across the brunch table, cutting into her eggs Benedict with surgical precision. But Maurice's promotion will mean you can finally focus on more important things. I'm Piper, and I've mastered the art of the polite smile. The one that says, "Thank you for your concern," while silently screaming into the void. I've worn it through 2 years of Sunday brunches, countless family gatherings, and an endless parade of backhanded compliments about my cute online hobby. Actually, Mum, Piper's been pretty busy with it lately, Maurice chimed in, reaching for his third mimosa. Sometimes she's up until midnight doing whatever it is she does on there. If they only knew what I was really doing until midnight. Running a 7-figure wellness platform, managing a team of 12, paying our mortgage. But they didn't need to know that. Not yet. Speaking of work, Maurice continued, straightening his designer tie, the one I bought him last Christmas with my blog money. I've got some exciting news. The firm's planning a big promotion announcement next month. Bridget clasped her hands together. Oh, darling. Finally! We must celebrate properly. Already thinking about it? Maurice grinned. I'm thinking Morton's, the private room. Everyone who matters will be there. He turned to me, his expression expectant. Honey, you'll handle the arrangements, right? Like you always do. I nodded, because that's what I always did. Handle things. Pay for things. Stay quiet about things. Just keep it elegant, Bridget advised. Nothing too internet-y. This is about Maurice's real career after all. My phone buzzed. Another notification from my business banking app. Another 5-figure payment from a corporate client. I clicked it away as Maurice launched into a story about his latest golf game with his boss. Later that night, I sat in my home office. My blogging room, as Bridget called it, staring at my laptop screen. The numbers didn't lie. 2 years of bank statements, spreadsheets, and payment records. Every household expense, every credit card bill, every luxury purchase Maurice bragged about to his colleagues, all traced back to my account. My phone lit up with a text from Isabella, my best friend and accountant. Did you tell them yet? I typed back, no, but I will. At the dinner. Girl, are you sure? That's nuclear. I glanced at the framed photo on my desk. Me in my old corporate outfit, 5 years ago, before the burnout that nearly broke me, before I built something of my own, before I started pretending it was small so Maurice could feel big. Another text from Isabella. What if it backfires? I thought about the morning's brunch, about 2 years of nodding and smiling, about Maurice's promotion dinner that I'd be expected to plan, organize, and secretly fund, all while playing the role of the supportive wife with her cute little online hobby. You know what's funny? I wrote back. They think I'm planning a celebration dinner, but I'm actually planning a wake. They just don't know who's dead yet. My phone buzzed one last time. Your mother-in-law is going to have a stroke. I smiled, closing my laptop for the night. Then she better start taking the wellness advice from my little blog. Walking to our bedroom, I heard Maurice on the phone in his study, probably rehearsing his promotion speech. His voice carried that familiar swagger, the one built on borrowed confidence and my silent support. Yeah, man, it's finally happening, he boasted. Time to show everyone what real success looks like. I slipped into bed, setting my alarm for another early morning of running my empire from behind a curtain of modesty. But not for much longer. They wanted a celebration of success? Fine. They'd get one. They just wouldn't like whose success it turned out to be. The doorbell chimed at exactly 2 p.m., right on schedule. Bridget's Tuesday pop-ins were as predictable as her criticism. Darling, you're still in your workout clothes? She breezed past me, designer handbag swinging. I thought you'd given up on that home exercise nonsense now that Morris is moving up. I glanced at my Apple Watch. 3 client calls and a strategy session still to go. Just finished a quick yoga session between meetings. Meetings? Bridget laughed, settling onto our leather couch, the one I'd bought after my first 6-figure month. Oh, you mean those little video chats with your internet friends? My phone buzzed. A notification from my project management app. Team meeting in 5 minutes. Topic: Q4 launch strategy. Actually, I need to. Sit with me first. Bridget patted the space beside her. I want to talk about the dinner. Maurice says you're handling everything? I perched on the armchair instead. Yes, I've already. Wonderful. I've invited the Olsons, Randall and his wife, and the Petersons. Oh, and Maurice's old fraternity brother James. He's a managing partner now, you know. Such a success story. My next notification flashed. Client payment received, $2,400. Speaking of success, Bridget continued, I do hope this dinner helps you see the bigger picture. All this obsessing over money and business, it's not attractive in a wife, dear. My phone rang. Isabella's face lighting up the screen. I have to take this, I said, standing. It's my accountant. Accountant? Bridget scoffed. For a blog? I stepped into my office, closing the door. Izzy, save me. Check your email first, Isabella said. You need to see what your husband's been up to. I opened my laptop while she waited. There it was, a forwarded LinkedIn profile. Maurice's latest update. My heart stopped as I read his bio. Supported by my wife Piper, who pursues wellness coaching as a hobby while I build our family's future. That lying piece of... Keep reading, Isabella cut in. Grateful to be the provider, allowing her to explore her interests without the pressure of monetization. My hands shook as I clicked through his recent posts, each one carefully crafted to paint himself as the breadwinner and me as his decorative, dabbling wife. I found these while doing your quarterly reports, Isabella said. He's been systematically building this narrative for months. A knock at my office door. Piper? Bridget called. Don't be rude, dear. We're not finished discussing the dinner. I have to go, I whispered to Isabella. But first, is everything ready for next week? PowerPoint's done. Financial records organized. Just say the word. I ended the call and opened the door. Bridget stood there, frowning at my desk setup. Dual monitors, professional microphone, ring light. All this equipment just for a blog? She picked up my business cards. What's this? CEO and founder. Oh, Piper, you're not still charging people, are you? Maurice says... What does Maurice say? I kept my voice steady. That you shouldn't worry about money, that it's desperate. He makes more than enough for both of you. My phone lit up again. Team of 12 waiting in Zoom meeting. I need to take this call, I said firmly. But... Goodbye, Bridget. After she left, I sat in my office, staring at Maurice's LinkedIn profile. All those carefully worded posts. All that meticulously crafted fiction. My phone buzzed with a text from Isabella. You okay? I thought about the promotion dinner, now just 7 days away. About the presentation waiting on my desktop, filled with bank statements and receipts. About 2 years of swallowed truth rising like bile in my throat. I'm fine, I typed back. Just thinking about how much Maurice loves telling stories. And? I smiled, opening my calendar to confirm the dinner reservation. $8,000 deposit, paid from my business account. And I can't wait to tell mine. $8,000 for a deposit, Isabella whistled, scanning the restaurant receipt on her tablet. You really went all out for your own execution party. We sat in her downtown office, surrounded by spreadsheets and documentation. The promotion dinner was 3 days away, and every detail had to be perfect. Morton's private dining room deserves its reputation, I said, checking off items on my list. Especially since it's my last performance as the doting wife. Speaking of performances, Isabella pulled up an email. Your husband's been busy. Look what he sent to the guest list. I leaned forward to read. Join us in celebrating my advancement to senior partner. My supportive wife, Piper, will be hosting an intimate evening of fine dining and networking. Hosting? I laughed. That's a creative way to say paying for everything while pretending she doesn't. My phone buzzed, a text from Morris. Honey, Mum wants to invite 2 more couples. That won't be a problem, right? Of course not, I typed back. What's another couple $1,000 of my money? Isabella raised an eyebrow. You didn't actually send that, did you? No. I showed her my actual response. Whatever makes you happy, dear. You're scary good at this, she said, shaking her head. Oh, almost forgot. Your gift arrived. She pulled out a sleek black box. Inside lay a Rolex Datejust, $12,000 of gleaming irony. It's perfect, I said, running my finger along the engraving I'd ordered. To my successful husband. You're really going to give him a watch bought with money he doesn't know you have? It's poetic, don't you think? One last gift to mark time running out. My phone lit up again. Bridget this time. Darling, what are you wearing to the dinner? Nothing too bold, I hope. This is Maurice's moment. Before I could respond, another message popped up. Found the perfect dress for you at Nordstrom. Classic navy. Very appropriate. God, she's exhausting, Isabella muttered, reading over my shoulder. Wait till she sees what I'm actually wearing. I pulled up a photo of the white power suit I'd ordered. Front row seat to her son's downfall, and she doesn't even know it. Isabella's assistant knocked and entered with a stack of folders. These just came from the printer. All the financial records you requested. I opened the first folder. 2 years of mortgage payments, utility bills, credit card statements, all traced back to my business account. All paid while Maurice bragged about providing. Found something else you should see, Isabella said, turning her laptop toward me. In his deleted email folder. My eyes widened as I read. Job applications, dozens of them. Each listing our household income, my income, as his personal assets. He's been using my earnings to apply for positions? My voice cracked. While telling everyone I'm just playing around online. There's more. Isabella clicked through. Remember that golf club membership he's always bragging about? Let me guess. My money? Your money? But he's been hosting weekly networking events there, positioning himself as some kind of business mentor. I sat back, letting it sink in. Every boast, every dismissive comment about my little hobby, every patronizing pat on the head, all while he built his image on my success. My phone buzzed again. Maurice, honey, can you make sure the AV system at Morton's is good? I want to show some slides about my journey. I smiled, thinking about the USB drive in my purse, the one containing a very different presentation than what he was expecting. Already handled, I texted back. Everything will be perfect. Isabella watched me, concerned. You're sure about this? Once you do this, there's no going back. I picked up the Rolex box, imagining Maurice's face when he opened it. His pride at the expensive gift, his complete ignorance of its source. You know what I found in his study last night? I pulled out my phone, showing her a folder of professional headshots. He had these taken months ago. The captions he wrote for them. Maurice, visionary leader. Maurice, business innovation expert. While you actually built a 7-figure business. Exactly. I stood, gathering the folders. He wanted to be seen as successful so badly, he forgot to actually succeed. And now? I smiled, tucking the Rolex into my bag. Now he gets his wish. Everyone will see exactly who he is. That's what you're wearing? Maurice stood in our bedroom doorway, frowning at my white suit laid out on the bed. Don't you think it's a bit much? Tomorrow was the dinner, his big moment, my final act. What's wrong with it? I adjusted the lapels, though I knew exactly what was wrong with it. It screamed power, success, everything I wasn't supposed to have. It's just... He loosened his tie. Mom picked out that navy dress. Wouldn't that be more appropriate? The doorbell rang before I could respond. Speaking of Mom. Darling, Bridget burst in, shopping bag swinging. I brought the dress, and some lovely pearl earrings. Very subtle. I forced a smile. That's thoughtful, but... No buts. She pulled out a shapeless navy sack that looked like it was designed to make the wearer disappear. This is perfect for tomorrow. Maurice needs to be the focus. Actually, I said, I already have my outfit. Bridget spotted the white suit and gasped. Oh no, no, that's far too... aggressive. Right, Maurice? Honey. Maurice stepped closer, using his reasonable voice, the one that meant I was being difficult. Mum's right. This dinner is about my career, my moment. You understand, right? I understood perfectly. I understood every time he'd minimized my work. Every time he'd taken credit for our lifestyle. Every time he'd smiled while Bridget told me to know my place. Of course, I said softly. It's your moment. Bridget beamed. That's a good girl. Now, about your hair. My phone buzzed, a notification from my banking app. Payment processed, $89,500, corporate training contract. Sorry, I held up my phone. I need to take this. Work stuff. Work? Bridget laughed. Oh, you mean your little online? Actually, Maurice cut in, maybe you should focus less on work right now, honey. This constant money talk, it's kind of depressing. I felt something snap inside me. Depressing? You know what I mean. He waved his hand dismissively. Always checking your phone, talking about clients. It's not very feminine. Maurice is right, Bridget chimed in. A wife should focus on more meaningful things, like starting a family. I walked to my laptop, opened it, and turned the screen toward them. You mean meaningful things like this? They stared at the email chain displayed. Maurice, applying for an executive position, claiming my business revenue as his personal income. How did you... Maurice's face went pale. Find your deleted emails? I clicked through more documents. The same way I found these. Your golf club applications, your credit card statements, your LinkedIn posts about being the provider. Now, Piper, Bridget stepped forward. Whatever you think you found, I found everything. My voice was ice. Every lie, every manipulation, every dollar of mine that Maurice claimed as his. Maurice's expression shifted from shock to anger. You went through my private... Private? I laughed. Like how you privately told everyone my business was a hobby? Or how you privately used my income to build your fake success story? That's enough, Bridget snapped. Maurice works very hard. At what? I turned to her. Tell me exactly what he does, because I know what I do. I run a 7-figure company. I pay this mortgage. I fund his golf membership. I finance his designer wardrobe. Maurice grabbed my arm. Stop it. You're being hysterical. I pulled away, grabbing my car keys. Hysterical? No, I'm being honest. Finally. Where are you going? Bridget called as I headed for the door. To finish preparing for tomorrow's dinner. I paused in the doorway. Don't worry, I'll wear the white suit. Since I paid for it, just like I'm paying for everything else. Outside, I sat in my car and pulled out my phone. Voice shaking, I recorded a message to Isabella. It's done. They know I know. But they don't know what's coming tomorrow. They think this was the explosion. I started the engine. They don't realize it was just the match being lit. Her response came quickly. You okay? I looked back at our house, the one I'd bought, the one Maurice bragged about to his colleagues, the one I'd never sleep in again after tomorrow. I'm perfect, I typed back, just rehearsing my lines for the final act. The presentation is loaded and ready, the AV tech at Morton's confirmed, clicking through my slides. Are you sure you want to keep this hidden until after the main speech? I straightened my white suit jacket. Absolutely. Timing is everything. The private dining room looked perfect. Crystal glasses caught the light from the chandeliers, name cards marked each place setting, and a small stage area waited at the front. My stage, though nobody knew it yet. Mrs. Wagner? One of the servers approached. Your mother-in-law is asking about the champagne selection. Tell her I chose the Dom Perignon. I smiled. Nothing but the best for my husband's big night. The first guests began arriving at 7. I stood at the entrance, playing the perfect hostess, while Maurice worked the room like the star he thought he was. Piper! Randall, Maurice's boss, gave me a warm handshake. Quite the event you've put together. Maurice deserves it, I said, watching my husband hold court across the room. He's always talking about making his mark. Speaking of marks, Randall lowered his voice, I heard your wellness platform is making waves in the corporate sector. We should talk about bringing your programs to our firm. Before I could respond, Bridget materialized beside us. Oh, Randall, you're too kind. Piper's little website is just a hobby. Tonight is about Maurice's real business success. I caught Isabella's eye across the room as she arrived. She raised an eyebrow, asking silently if I was ready. I nodded slightly. Everyone, please take your seats, Maurice called out, champagne glass in hand. The celebration is about to begin. I sat between Isabella and Bridget, directly facing the presentation screen. Maurice took the stage, straightening his new Rolex, my final gift to him. First, he began, I want to thank my beautiful wife for organizing this evening. He raised his glass to me. She's always been so supportive of my career, content to stay in the background while I built our future. Bridget dabbed at her eyes. Isabella squeezed my hand under the table. When I started at the firm, Maurice continued, I had a vision. I knew that with hard work and determination, I could provide the kind of life my family deserves. And now, as I step into this new role, I reached into my purse, fingers wrapping around the remote control. I can finally say I've achieved what I set out to do. My success story. Click. The screen behind him flickered. Is a testament to... Wait, what's happening? The first slide appeared. My company's logo, followed by our revenue charts. Maurice turned, confused. There seems to be a technical... He trailed off as the next slide appeared. Bank statements, mortgage payments, all bearing my name. Gasps rippled through the room. Randall leaned forward, studying the numbers. Honey, Maurice's voice cracked. What is this? I stood, smoothing my white suit. This is my success story, Maurice, the one you've been taking credit for. Piper, Bridget hissed. Sit down. No. I walked to the stage, taking the microphone. For 2 years, I've sat down, stayed quiet, played small. While you, I turned to Maurice, built your reputation on my success. The slides continued, screenshots of his LinkedIn posts claiming to be the provider, his job applications using my income, his credit card bills paid from my account. You see, I addressed the stunned room. While Maurice was telling everyone about his business acumen, I was actually building a 7-figure company. While he bragged about providing, I was quietly paying for everything, including this dinner. This is ridiculous, Maurice sputtered. I never what? I clicked to the final slide. His deleted emails. Never lied? Never used my money to fund your image? Never made me feel small so you could feel big? The room was silent except for Bridget's choked sobs. So yes, I continued, this is a celebration, just not of your promotion. I turned to face him directly. It's my Declaration of Independence. I placed the microphone on the podium and walked toward the exit. At the door, I paused and looked back at my husband, still frozen on stage. By the way, I said clearly, I want a divorce. The last thing I saw as I left was Randall's face, a mixture of shock and newfound respect. The last thing I heard was Bridget's wail of dismay, and it was music to my ears. The chaos erupted behind me as I walked calmly through Morton's lobby. Isabella's heels clicked rapidly on the marble floor as she caught up. Holy shit, she breathed. Holy shit! Wait for it, I said, counting down in my head. 3, 2, 1, Piper! Maurice's voice boomed across the lobby. Get back here right now! I turned slowly, facing my husband for what I knew would be the last time. His face was red, tie askew, that expensive Rolex catching the light as he gestured wildly. How dare you, he sputtered. In front of everyone? My colleagues? My boss? You mean the people you've been lying to? I kept my voice steady. The ones you told I was just playing around online while you supported us? Bridget burst through the doors behind him, mascara running. This is unforgivable, after everything we've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I laughed. Like what? Taking credit for my success? Belittling my work? Using my money to fund Maurice's fantasy life? A small crowd had gathered, dinner guests watching through the glass doors, restaurant patrons pretending not to stare. That's not... Maurice stepped closer, lowering his voice. Baby, let's talk about this at home. We can fix this. Fix what? I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. Fix the fact that I paid our mortgage last month, or the month before, or every month for 2 years? I was going to pay you back. With what? I scrolled through transactions. The salary from the job you lost 6 months ago? The one you didn't tell me about because you were too busy pretending to be successful? His face went pale. Behind him, Randall emerged from the dining room, expression grim. Maurice, he said, we need to discuss those loan applications you submitted, the ones listing your wife's business revenue as personal assets. I can explain, Maurice started. So can I cut in. I can explain every dollar you claimed as yours, every lie you told, every time you made me feel small so you could feel big. Bridget grabbed my arm. You ungrateful little... Don't touch me. I pulled away. Your son isn't the man you think he is. He's not even the man he pretends to be. Everything I did, Maurice's voice cracked, I did for us. For our future. No. I stepped back. Everything you did for your ego. And everything I did despite you, not because of you. Isabella touched my shoulder. Car's here. Where are you going? Maurice called as I walked away. Home, I said over my shoulder. To my home, the condo I bought 3 months ago while you were busy taking credit for my success. You can't just leave. I stopped at the door. Actually, I can, and I am. Oh, and Maurice? I turned one last time. The Rolex you're wearing? I bought it with my blog money. In the car, Isabella handed me a glass of champagne she'd snagged from the dinner. To freedom! My phone started buzzing. Messages from dinner guests. Missed calls from Bridget. Texts from Maurice. Please come home. We can talk about this. What am I supposed to tell people? Maybe, I said, silencing my phone. He can tell them the truth for once. Speaking of truth, Isabella pulled out her tablet. Your story is already spreading. 3 dinner guests just followed your business Instagram, and Randall's wife shared your website in her corporate women's group. I smiled, watching the city lights blur past the window. Funny how success hits different when you stop hiding it. What now? Now? I took another sip of champagne. I run my company. Out loud this time. No more pretending to be small. No more funding someone else's fiction. My phone lit up with one last text from Maurice. "You've ruined everything." "No," I typed back, then showed Isabella the message. "I just stopped letting you take credit for everything." She raised her glass. "To ruining everything. To ruining the lie," I corrected, clinking my glass against hers. "And to finally telling the truth." As we pulled up to my new building, I felt lighter than I had in years. Tomorrow would bring lawyers and logistics, questions and consequences. But tonight I was just a woman who stopped setting herself on fire to keep someone else warm. And it felt like freedom. The calls started at 6 a.m. First Maurice, then Bridget, then Maurice again. By noon, they'd moved on to mutual friends, distant relatives, even my old college roommate. "Your mother-in-law just tried to add me on LinkedIn," Isabella said, sprawled on my new living room couch. Bold strategy. I scrolled through my messages. Apparently, I'm having a mental breakdown. At least, that's what Bridget's telling everyone. Meanwhile, Isabella turned her laptop toward me, showing my company's social media metrics. "Your following has doubled since last night. 3 major corporations want to book you for speaking events." My phone buzzed with another text, this time from Randall. "We need to talk about Maurice's position at the firm, and possibly about bringing your platform in-house." "Karma works fast these days," Isabella mused. A sharp knock at my door made us both jump. I checked the security camera feed on my phone and sighed. "It's Maurice." "Want me to get rid of him?" "No." I stood, straightening my shoulders. "I've got this." I opened the door to find my soon-to-be ex-husband looking decidedly less polished than usual. His designer shirt was wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot. "You're not answering my calls," he said. "That's generally what happens when someone wants a divorce." He pushed past me into the apartment, then stopped short at the view of the city skyline. "How long have you had this place?" 3 months. Paid cash." I left the door open. "What do you want, Maurice?" "They suspended me." His voice cracked. "Pending investigation into my loan applications. My credit cards are frozen. Mom's hysterical. Everything's falling apart." "Sounds like consequences." He turned, eyes desperate. "We can fix this. I'll tell everyone it was a misunderstanding, that I was trying to protect you by taking credit." "Protect me?" I laughed. "From what? Success? Recognition? The terrible fate of being seen as capable? You don't understand. A man needs to lie? To steal credit? To make his wife feel small so he can feel big?" My phone buzzed again. An email from a major business magazine. "Request for interview. Women in tech feature." What am I supposed to do now? Maurice slumped onto my couch. "Where am I supposed to go?" "That sounds like a you problem." I gestured to the door. "Which is exactly what you made my success, a me problem. Until it served your ego." "Piper, please." Another notification lit up my phone. This one made me pause. "Well," I said, reading the message. "Looks like your mom just found out about the second mortgage you took out on her house, using my income statements as proof of funds." His face went ashen. "How did she—" Amazing what people discover when they start actually looking at paperwork. I opened the door wider. "Goodbye, Maurice." After he left, Isabella emerged from my home office. "You okay?" "Better than okay." I showed her my phone. "Look who else messaged me." Her eyes widened. "Your sister Evelyn? You haven't spoken in what, 5 years? Since she told me I was making a mistake marrying Maurice." I opened the message. "I was wrong. Not about Maurice. I was right about him being a fraud. But about you. I thought you lacked fire. Turns out you were just waiting for the right moment to burn it all down. Can we talk? Are you going to respond? Isabella asked. I typed back. Coffee tomorrow? I know a great place. I own it now. Speaking of owning things, Isabella pulled up a document on her tablet. Maurice's name is still on your business insurance. Want me to remove it? Remove everything. I walked to the window, watching the city buzz below. His name, his access, his fiction. My phone lit up with a final text from Bridget. You've destroyed my son's life. No, I typed back. I just stopped letting him steal mine. I blocked her number and turned to Isabella. Ready for the podcast interview? She checked her watch. The Women Breaking Barriers show? We've got 20 minutes. I sat at my desk, adjusting my microphone. The show's topic had seemed ironic when I booked it weeks ago. Finding your voice in a world that wants you quiet. Now it felt like prophecy. Any talking points you want to focus on? Isabella asked, setting up the video link. I smiled, thinking of all the women who would be listening. All the ones still playing small to make someone else feel big. Just one, I said. Don't let those who benefit from your silence call your voice too loud. You used to bite your nails when you were nervous, Evelyn said, stirring her coffee. Now look at you, power suit, perfect manicure, running an empire. We sat in my favorite cafe, sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. The same cafe where I'd written my first blog post, back when Maurice called it my little hobby. I stopped being nervous, I replied, when I stopped trying to make myself smaller. I should have been there. Evelyn's voice cracked. When you were building all this, when you were dealing with Maurice and his mother. You tried to warn me about him, and then I abandoned you when you didn't listen. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. I'm sorry. My phone buzzed. Isabella's text. Maurice's company officially terminated him. Randall wants to meet about implementing your platform company-wide. Speaking of Maurice, Evelyn nodded at my phone. Have you heard from him? His last voicemail was interesting. I played it on speaker. Piper, they're investigating my finances. Mom won't talk to me. I'm staying at a motel. I don't know what to do. Please, I need help. Are you going to help him? Evelyn asked. No. I deleted the message. He needs to learn what it feels like to stand on his own feet. The cafe door chimed. Isabella walked in, carrying a large envelope. Divorce papers, she announced, sliding into our booth. Ready for your signature, and you'll love this. Bridget just listed her house for sale. The one Maurice mortgaged without her knowledge? That's the one. Isabella grinned. Karma's working overtime these days. My phone lit up with a notification. Your story, From Silence to Successful, is trending on LinkedIn. You know what's funny? I showed them the article. Maurice always wanted to go viral. Now he has, just not the way he planned. Have you been back to the house? Evelyn asked. Yesterday, actually. Packed up the last of my things. I pulled out my phone, showing them a photo. But I left him something. The image showed Maurice's home office, now empty except for one framed quote on the wall. Built quietly, remembered loudly. Subtle, Isabella snorted. I also donated his designer suits to a women's shelter's career program, I added. Seemed fitting. Speaking of fitting, Evelyn pulled out a small package. I found this while cleaning out Mum's things after she passed. Thought you should have it. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with a single charm. A phoenix. Mum always said you had fire in you, Evelyn said softly. I think she knew you'd rise eventually. I clasped the bracelet around my wrist just as my laptop chimed with a calendar reminder. Team meeting, platform launch. That's my cue. I stood, gathering my things. We're rolling out a new coaching program today. Let me guess the title, Isabella smirked. How to Stop Setting Yourself on Fire to Keep Others Warm. Close. I showed them the presentation slide on my laptop. Reclaiming Power, 101, a guide for women who were told to dream smaller. Perfect, Evelyn smiled. Just like Mum would have wanted. Outside the cafe, I hugged my sister goodbye, promising to make our coffee dates weekly. Isabella headed to her office to file the divorce papers. Back in my apartment, I walked to the window wall that had so shocked Maurice. The city sprawled below, full of possibilities and power, and women just waiting to find their voice. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from an unknown number. This is Bridget. Maurice is a mess. He needs you. Please don't throw away your marriage. I typed back, I didn't throw away anything. I just stopped letting someone else take credit for everything I built. Then I blocked that number too, sat down at my desk, and opened my laptop to begin the team meeting. Welcome, everyone, I said into my microphone, watching faces appear on screen. Today, we're launching something special. A program for anyone who's ever been told their dreams are too big, their voice too loud, their ambitions too much. I glanced at the phoenix charm on my wrist, catching the sunlight. Today, I continued, we're teaching people how to rise. And somewhere in the city, in a cheap motel room, Maurice was learning what it meant to fall.